Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm your host, Gal Swisa Cohen. 3 years ago, my family and I moved to Long Island with a clear mission to serve as the living bridge between the people of Israel and the incredible community here. Out of this journey, I created The Israeli Bond, a podcast designed to tell the story of Israel and its people beyond the headlines. We are here for the authentic, the personal, and the direct stories that bring us close together. This podcast is a production of the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County, New York, and it is thanks to their vision and support that this content is brought to you today. And let's begin with my very special guest, Neta Moallem.
Hi, Gal.
Hi, Neta. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here too. And we decided that for this episode, it is better for you to introduce yourself. So please.
Okay. So as you said, my name is Neta Moallem. I'm 38, born in Haifa, in Israel, but raised in Jerusalem. And in the last 14 years, living in Givatayim, which is next to Tel Aviv. I'll speak about my own experience and what's the relation to our episode. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start. I'm a lawyer, studying in Israel at Bar-Ilan University, my first degree, my LLB, and afterwards I did my LLM also. I was a research student. I wrote my thesis in international law, specialized in human rights. And during this time, I also worked at the Faculty of Law at Bar-Ilan University, and later continued to the position that actually brought me to what I'm doing now. I was a director of international marketing and recruitment at Bar-Ilan University. So the meaning of that is that I built a brand abroad, did many things, like more of recruitment stuff from undergraduate to PhD and postdoc, but also sign-on agreements between universities. And I ran like many desks in Asia, South Asia, and North America, and Central Europe, also South America. So I did many stuff.
So you were focused on the marketing of the university to students and people in general outside of Israel.
Exactly. Promoting the institution, Bar-Ilan University, abroad, academically, and also in terms of students who want to come study in Israel. I think that the point where stuff has been changed, and I told that before, I faced many challenges. Not me, just I guess all the international stuff and all the international schools abroad. But COVID first, that was one. Second was October 7th. And this is what led me to what I'm doing now. So after October 7th, it was, I don't need to say what it was like a big crisis, I think that in Israel and also for the Jewish communities abroad. And we were surprised to see the increase of students from North America wanted to come to study in Israel. It was something that we couldn't expect, but it happened. So
you're saying, right, like after October 7th hit, a very big crisis.
Yeah.
And then we would have expect to have less people want to come to study in Israel, but in fact, more students reach out to Bar-Ilan University and to you, for example, and asked about how they can come to Israel to study,
exactly.
Right?
Yes, correct.
Very surprising.
Yeah, we definitely was because, before October 7th, it was super hard to recruit students, and I said Jewish students, from North America for the undergraduate programs we offered in English. And it was a big surprise for us to see the increase in interest. So I'm happy to say that we were the first university that opened new programs. It's called hybrid programs in collaboration with Ministry of Aliyah. And the meaning was that we start in English, students doing Ulpan during the first year, and then continue in Hebrew. During the time, many other institutions joined to this kind of program, study in English and then continue in Hebrew. And
So Bar-Ilan University actually, you noticed like this maybe a barrier, a potential barrier. So there's many students wants to come, but there's a potential barrier for having them to come and study in Israel. So then you open a program that is designed for students from the U.S. that Hebrew is not their mother tongue to get into the university, right? And then more institutions like Bar Ilan, more universities started to duplicate the same like mechanism, right?
And I have to say, it was in collaboration with Ministry of Aliyah. So Ministry of Aliyah is supporting in all these kind of programs. Of course, that you can study in these programs even if you're not doing Aliyah, but this was part of their, how I said, like they want to see students that collaborate into the Israeli society. So not just study in Israel, study in Hebrew in Israel, because we do all the other institutions in Israel. And Bar Ilan also, we had programs in English. But this is special because it started in English and then continue in Hebrew. And this is something new that happened after October 7th. And 1 year later, I decided I want to start my own path. And I saw that there is something missing. We have many students want to study in Israel, not just at Bar Ilan, like all other institutions. But there is something missing, like the connection. I want to build, and I decided to build.
So what was the mechanism? If I'm a student now, or a potential student in New York, in Long Island, and I want to study in Israel, what was the mechanism before October 7th? How could I get into study, like to Bar Ilan, for example?
So I guess it was the same in all other institutions, doing campaigns, marketing campaigns. That's what I also did. Putting it in Facebook, Instagram, local newspapers, students who, and also it's important to say, connections between the universities to the high school guidances. And that was the mechanism. Students who were interested in, they knew that they can approach to their high school guidances. Israeli universities usually arrive in the U.S. to several events, but not always to all the areas. Not always to all the areas in Long Island, not always to all areas in Teaneck. There are several focal points. So that was the mechanism. I felt, as someone who did marketing, who was looking for those students who want to study in Israel, that something is missing. I need something more than that. We need to have an opportunity to meet the students and their parents, which is super important, face to face. And when I left Bar Ilan 1 year ago, it was like April 2025, I launched a new idea, a new platform. We call it EduExpo, Israel EduExpo, that's important to mention, where I bring together all the relevant institutions from Israel who want to join, along with Ministry of Aliyah, coming with their representatives. Garin Tzabar, if they want to join us sometimes, so we're super happy for that. The Israel Consulate, the Israel Embassy, all together, we're doing like a roadshow. Roadshow, is that the right way?
Yeah, roadshow.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going from city to city. For example, now that I'm here for 2 weeks, so last week we've been in Canada first time in Toronto. Afterwards, we moved to Teaneck, New Jersey, and we're in 5 towns, Long Island. Every time, all the universities bringing their own representatives, speak with the students, potential students, and the parents who want to plan their potential adventure or in Israel. Some of them want to arrive in Israel in 1 year and start to study. Some of them want to do gap year, mechina, midrasha, or even doing the army or shivut leumi, and then going to university. But they're Americans. They're not Israelis. That's important to say. And they want to plan ahead, and that's perfect. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to bring the opportunity to discover what amazing institutions we have in Israel. They're all ranked. They're offering so many opportunities. If you want to study in Hebrew, if you want to study in English, if you want to study in English and then in Hebrew. So if you're a Jewish student and want to study in Israel, you have all the options for success. And for me, it was super important to create this nice and right environment.
So first of all, I really like this story because it really presents one of the thing that we're most proud of in Israel, which is the Israeli entrepreneurship. Basically, so you found there's a gap, there's a need, and then you created this mechanism. And it's important to say you're not working with one, like you're not working with only with Bar Ilan institution or Tel Aviv University or only one institution. The platform that you created is a platform that brings all the institutions that want to join together and then bring it from city to city, from town to town, across North America, and have the opportunity for people who are interested, students, their parents who are interested either for next year or for, let's say, for like in 4 years to study. You give them the opportunity to have all the different opportunities in one place, right?
Exactly.
But now let me ask you that. So, we're in this super fast, high technology era where we have Zoom, we have AI, we have so many different, technology is very progress right now. So why you think it's so important to have this face-to-face roadshow instead of just like a meeting, like a Zoom meeting?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question, Gal. So I only can speak from my own experience. So I create something that I felt is missing from, I've been there. I've been a recruiter. I have a team, a big team in Israel, and also I had a representative in North America. And we noticed that people don't want to Zoom. They want to see you. They want to face to face. They want a one-on-one. So that's
why. What can't you ask in a Zoom call that you can ask on a face-to-face meeting?
You basically can ask anything that you want on Zoom, or it's the same, but the feeling is different. And also it's time-consuming, like having like different Zoom calls and to coordinate it with different institutions. If you're not sure if you want to go to Tel Aviv University or to Hebrew U or to Ben Gurion or Haifa University. So you have to coordinate different Zoom calls with each university, and it can spread on a month even. Here, it's giving you the opportunity to have the one-on-one, to see the person in face. You have the interaction, and also you can do it with, to move from one another. Been in Tel Aviv for 10 minutes, and then with Bar Ilan, and then with Reichman, for example, and with Hebrew U and Technion, of course. So it's given the opportunity to do everything. It's like one-stop shop for all your needs. You're a lawyer too, so you're laughing. So one-stop shop, yeah. So that's what's the idea.
Okay, so I can get that, but I want to tap in again to a topic that we mentioned very briefly before, but I feel that this is the biggest question. So yes, I can understand after October 7th, there was like, I can't understand, but you said that after October 7th, there was a lot of students that wanted to come to Israel, and maybe later you'll tell me if you have like some insights on why it happened. But now I'm more interested to understand. So it's not only October 7th, right? Because as we're recording this at the beginning of May 2026, and just 1 month ago, we had a very big war in Israel, very big war with Iran. Actually, it was in Israel and US, but the Israelis were more infected by it. So in times of so many wars, and it's still going on, and we still don't know what the future will hold, how come parents are sending their kids to Israel? Or have you ever came across like questions of parents asking about the security situation in Israel?
So yes, parents are asking, but I have to say, it's kind of maybe weird, but I think that parents and their children, they feel like more safe in Israel, even though we're during a war. That's still, we're not sure what will be, if it's over, yes or no, the Iran, what you mentioned. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm coming back today to Israel, and I'm not sure what's going to be in the weekend. So I think that they feel more safe in Israel. That's what I heard.
So they're not concerned about the security situation?
No.
They're more so what are their concerns?
They're more concerned that their kids will stay here. They feel that the atmosphere in the U.S. is quite difficult for Jewish who want to practice their own Judaism. And they feel that Jewish people who want to continue doing that, they will be more secure in Israel. And also, I'll speak about shidduchim. This is a big thing.
Oh, okay.
Finding a shidduch in Israel.
Okay.
So it's also something. And security term, I'll say that the Israeli campuses are super secure. They're secure 24/7. And like I said, like in the US, sometimes, and also in Europe. You have different schools, different places in the city. In Israel, all campuses are more one place. It's all gathered together, so we can find law faculty next to the engineering, and you can find and to chemistry. So it's all together and secured 24/7. And if the dorms are inside the campus, so secure 24/7.
So you're saying that they feel more secure to practice Judaism and to be Jewish and to study as Jewish people.
Yeah.
This is what you feel currently.
That's what I heard. You know, I'm Israeli and I study in Israel, so I don't have something to compare. But what I hear from them is the fact that they're not afraid. They're very happy, very eager to arrive in Israel. They want to contribute to the country. Some of them want to go to the army, Shivut Leumi. So it's part of their path.
And actually, it could be very beneficial. Like as we discussed before, because basically, first of all, it's much cheaper than studying in the US, which is very, 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 very expensive. Like we did the math before. It's something like it's maybe a quarter of the fees that you will pay if you were to study in the US. But would the quality of studies would be the same as if they were to study here? Like, are they missing something in terms of like the quality of studies or like the opportunity to get into the job market when coming back to the US?
So I believe that the quality of studies in Israel is quite high. And there's like many rankings. Like the biggest one is the Shanghai ranking and the Times Higher Education ranking. So these two rankings, they take data from universities and they decide if you're on top 10 or less. But it also has different requirements, and as much as you're a bigger university, you have more researchers that publishing more. Yeah. So you cannot.
So how are the Israeli university are ranked in compared to other?
All the universities in Israel are ranked. So we have the Technion, which is in the top 100, and the Hebrew U in the top 100. But also the other universities, all of them are there, and I recommend checking the ranking by yourself. You can see it.
So you're saying that some of the university in Israel even can be ranked higher than university in the States, and so it's not a risk in a way.
And I want to say also, just to be aware, it's like a side note. Students from the US want to study, for example, engineering in Israel. They have to do like 4 APs, and the requirements in Israel for engineering and math are much higher than in the US, because in Israel, in the high school, the math studies are in much higher level than in the US. So,
but the question is, could they
come back
when they come back? Yeah, when they return, can they?
Of course, yes. All the degrees in Israel are well recognized abroad, and just can check that many of the professors in Israel, they did their PhD or postdoc abroad. So, yeah, definitely yes.
So it sounds like a very, very
it's
good
a very good
opportunity.
deal, I just have to say. And it's also an opportunity, I want to say, we spoke about it, it's an opportunity to meet the Israeli society. If you care about Israel and about how if you want to have an opinion about Israel for real, so this is a good opportunity for you to arrive in Israel, study in one of the universities, meet people from different, places in Israel itself, hear different opinions. This is a real exposure to the Israeli society. So it's also, in that term, it's important.
Yes, I agree. And I love that angle because I feel that when, the rise of anti-Semitism, of course, but all the fake news that you can find over social media, it's always good to know firsthand. And I definitely feel, and I know that people that are coming to Israel and getting to know the Israelis and Israel from firsthand and study there, not only for a visit of week or two that you only get to see whichever your tourist guide gets you to see, but like really live in Israel, really get you a sense of what is the reality for good and for bad, and to be able to
develop your own opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. And by the way, what is the prototype? Can you identify like a prototype of the students that come to these roadshows?
I'll say that most of them are super Zionistic. They really have very warm feelings about Israel, and they want to be part of. That's what I felt. I will say that like 90% of them want to arrive in Israel and do something in addition. They want to do mechina. They want to do the army. Shivut Laumit, it's the national service. So I felt that there is a lot of interest in bringing something from them to the society in Israel. And I felt like it's very heartwarming. They're living in the diaspora. And they feel these feelings for Israel, and they want to do something for the state of Israel. So
you say it's more than just to study in Israel, but it also comes from values, from Zionism, from wanting to do something that is more than just study, but like to have like a higher values and to do something bigger than just study.
Yeah, but I want to say something, it's personal opinion. I want people to arrive in Israel, even if they're not having like big plans for the future. Just arrive in Israel, study here. It's important. We want you to have, as we said, like your own opinion. It's important that you feel like the real stuff, the real thing, that you live in Israel for the good and for the bad.
Yeah.
Okay, and there is a lot of good, and like a teeny tiny % of bad.
Okay.
So we also have to feel that. I really believe that that in order to have your own opinion and in order to be able to say it out loud, you have to be part of and to experience the real stuff. And the real stuff happening in Israel.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I feel that this is one of the strengths of this program. So thank you so much for this great interview. By the way, you just said that you're going back to Israel, right? After a 2 weeks road shows, you already been to Long Island. Can you tell me, or can you tell us when is the next time you're coming to the US?
Yeah, so next time will be the last week of August. We'll do like a whole promotion. We plan to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and be back to LA for 2 locations, one in the city and one in the valley.
And if someone from Long Island would want to reach you, because obviously you're not going to be here in August.
Yeah, so you definitely can write to me through email. Yeah, do you want to send my email?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Neta, Neta Moallem, Moallem @gmail.com. And you can also Google me, Neta Moallem, and you'll find the details. And if God wants to write my details in the description, that will be great.
So we'll have it also in the episode notes for whoever is interested and want to take part. So thank you so much again, Neta,
Thank you for
this.
inviting me. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Your first podcast, but it was a fun one,
right?
Yeah,
it was my first.
So thank you. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Israeli Bond on hmTV. I again appreciate my guest, Neta Moallem, for sharing this very fascinating program that she created, platform that she created for bringing students from North America to study in Israel. And if you enjoyed exploring the information, history, and stories of today's conversation, be sure to check out our other podcasts here on hmTV. Please subscribe, share, and stay connected for more engaging conversations. Until next time, take care and be well.